Greetings, fellow fairy tale goers, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Grimm Readings, the show where we reveal the dark nature of the fairy tales collected by the brothers Grimm. I'm your host, Spencer Fraunfelter. Today we'll dive into one of my personal favorite tales. Within its words lie depression, loss, and mass death, and while that may be relatively common among these tales, they appear more explicitly in this shorter story. During today's reading, I hope you will interpret some deeper meanings from the literal words. Without any further delay, let us read. Story number 80, The Death of the Hen. Once a hen went with a rooster to the nut hill, and they agreed that whoever found a kernel would share it with the other. Soon the hen found a very big nut, but she kept quiet about it because she wanted to eat the kernel all by herself. However, the kernel was so large that she could not swallow it, and it got stuck in her throat. Fearing that she might choke to death, she screamed, "Rooster, please run as fast as you can and fetch me some water, or else I'll choke to death." The rooster ran as fast as he could to the well and said, "Well, you must give me some water. The hen's lying on the nut hill and she's about to choke to death." "First run to the bride," the well answered, "and get some red silk for me." The rooster ran to the bride and said, "Bride, I need some red silk from you. The silk is for the well who will give me some water to take to the hen who's lying on the nut hill where she swallowed a large kernel and is about to choke to death." The bride answered, "First run and fetch me my wreath that got stuck on the branch of a willow." So the rooster ran to the willow, pulled the wreath from the branch, and brought it back to the bride. In return, the bride gave him some red silk, and the rooster brought it to the well, who gave him water in exchange. Then the rooster brought the water to the hen, but by the time he reached her, she had choked to death and lay there motionless and dead. The rooster became so sad that he uttered a loud cry, and all the animals came and mourned for her. 6 mice built a little wagon that was to carry the hen to her grave. When the wagon was finished, the mice harnessed themselves to it, and the rooster was to drive the wagon. Along the way, they encountered the fox, who asked, "Where are you going, Rooster?" "I'm off to bury the hen." "May I ride with you?" "Yes, but since you're heavy, take a seat in the back. If you sat up front, my horses would fall and the wagon would crack." The fox sat down in the back. Then the wolf, the bear, the stag, the lion, and all the animals in the forest took a seat in the back. Thus they continued their journey until they came to a brook. "How shall we get across?" asked the rooster. A straw was lying near the brook and said, "I'll lie myself across, then you can drive over me." However, as soon as the 6 mice touched the bridge, the straw slipped and fell into the water, and the 6 mice went tumbling after and drowned. So the situation was just as bad as it had been before, but a hot piece of coal came along and said, "I'm large enough. I'll lay myself across, and you can drive over me." Then the coal also laid itself across the water, but unfortunately, it grazed the surface a little. Soon it started hissing, and before long, it was extinguished and died. When a stone saw that, it took pity on the rooster and offered its help. It lay down across the water, and now the rooster pulled the wagon across. When he reached the other side and was already on land with the dead hen, he wanted to help the others in the back out of the wagon, but there were too many of them, and the wagon slipped backward, causing everyone to fall into the water and drown. So, the rooster was all alone with the dead hen, and he dug a grave for her. He laid her in it and made a mound on top. Afterward, he sat down on the mound and grieved until he too died, and then everyone was dead. Death, melancholy, followed by more death. A deliciously dark ending to a riveting story. I hope you've all enjoyed it as much as I have. Tune in next week for another episode where we'll take a close look at tale number 81, Brother Lustig, a story filled with poverty, betrayal, and the slaughter of livestock. Until then, keep reading, stay sharp, and remain grim.